Welcome, everyone, to round 5 of LPR Racing. I'm Logan Edward, and I'm joined by Ryan Armstrong.
Hi.
So, LPR Racing, Season 5, Round 5, here at Zolder. A 2.4 mile long track, first opened in 1963. 10 turns, consisting of slow speed and fast speed. Ryan, do you have any sort of comments?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good track. I love the track really. The drivers have obviously got to be careful at the chicanes because too many mistakes and you will just die. The chicanes are quite deadly, but I think as long as the drivers are able to get past them and through them well, then it works out fine.
Yeah, absolutely right. As we are on board with Boxall as he comes through the Villeneuve chicane, which is the second chicane in Sector 2 here at Zolder. It's quite tricky of a corner. You'll see probably a few moves be taken there. As you know, it's a chicane follow up by a double right, and then he's gone a bit deep actually, going down into one of the trickier corners. It's a downhill heavy braking corner. And yeah. So, Ryan, LPR, quite of a nice, high prospected league. What do you think of sort of the competition in this league?
Yeah, I mean, so far in the championship, there's a very close battle for the lead. Um, many drivers are all fighting. It's quite a close pack. It's clean racing, and it's a really entertaining race to watch and to broadcast and to commentate because the championship is so close between the two front runners. It's honestly just like 2021 Formula One, to be honest. It's very, very close, and it's really, really interesting to watch too.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. As the man right now on pole is only about maybe 9 points off the top spot in the championship. And then obviously Boxall, well, he's down into P6 in the driver's standings. But yeah, it's like you said, really close championship right now. As it's close in the drivers as well as the constructors, as obviously there's constructors in this. And yeah, obviously, Mark as well, he's won 2 out of the 4 races right now. Could he make it a third win this season? I mean, he's a quite fast driver, but I do know Ikamava, he's also a winner in this league, and he's a rapid driver. But there's 2 races, both 20 minutes, and obviously it's a reverse top 10 for the second race. Do you think that could maybe disrupt some of the other drivers in the second race?
I mean, yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, there's obviously no telling what's going to happen, and I don't want to make predictions or anything because commentators curse as always. There's not really anything that you can really predict, but we'll just have to see how it goes and see if, see if it lives up to what we think it will be.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I do think, I've seen some of these drivers drive before, Juan Granmaj, Ikamava, Anno in P6. I've seen a lot of these drivers race before, and I've raced alongside these drivers, and they are absolutely rapid. And basically on the next level, really. And these cars, from my opinion, these cars are quite tricky to drive. They're easy to lock up. Got to make sure you're not overdriving the cars as well, as I believe the tire life on these cars is sort of medium, quite high, quite middle of sorts. It's really close between top 3 as well. When not even 3 tenths separate them, almost 2.5 tenths separate the top 3. I think it's going to be a really fun race. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good, to be honest. It's going to be, as I say, close racing. It's going to be interesting racing. And, Zolder is always a track that produces good fights. And as long as the drivers can keep it clean, I think it will be a very nice race to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree. Those slow speed corners, the penultimate chicane, that's going to be an overtaking opportunity, as well as turn 1. It seems tight, but it's quite open when you get onto the exit, which just means you can probably send it 3 wide, maybe even possibly 4 wide if you're that ambitious. And these cars, you know, I've seen it. I've seen the races previously, and you know, you can go side by side throughout a whole lap, and it's so fun to watch. And I can't wait to see these guys driving in the race. There's Ikamava here setting a purple sector 1, only 15 thousandths faster than the current pole setter of Mark. Now, obviously, Ikamava coming through the Villeneuve chicane, cutting both apexes beautifully. Same with the next corner. I think that was turn, if I'm right, that is, my brain's freezing. I think that was turn 8 or 7, probably 7. As he comes through the downhill, heavy braking corner, really important you get a good exit, as it's quite decent of a long straight as you come through the penultimate corners. Now, a bit slower in his sector 2. Will he be able to find time coming through the final chicane? He cuts it beautifully on the second bit. He gets a good exit to the line. What will it be? Could it be an improvement to edge in front of Boxall? No, it's not. It's an improvement, but it's not much of an improvement. He does only go 2/10, 200ths, I mean, behind Boxall. So it's really close between these front three. Like I said, obviously, Ikamava, really fast driver. Same with Boxall and same with Mark. Now, I would attempt to say that last name, but it's so difficult for me. Ryan, who do you think could maybe... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, I thought you were asking me how to pronounce the surname. And I was
Yeah,
like, so
I mean, if you know, that'd be amazing.
No, not really an idea, to be honest.
I know it's like Shaladi or something like that. It doesn't seem it, but he does set a purple sector 2. He's only slightly slow in sector 1. This could be a new pole lap for him. But he went a bit deep in that heavy braking zone, and it's going to cost him a good exit, but he's going to have the toe from the car in front. But I think he's maybe... Yeah, he's slowing down here. He's going to be setting up for a new run. Oh, I had a bit of a moment there, but as he crosses the line now, heading down into turn 1, slight of a heavy braking zone, one of the heavier braking zones of the track, gets a really nice exit, uses the full exit curve to set himself up for a nice mid-entry-ish corner for turn 2. Good exit as well, keeping the car still rotated, as obviously we come down into turn 4. Really important you get a really good exit as he touches the gravel on exit, and yeah, that's him. That's his lap ruined, and he's going to go to the pits now. Andrew Bayer coming down to turn 1. It's a third gear corner, making sure you get a good exit. He doesn't use as much as the exit curb as Mark did, but he could still be on for an improvement. Coming through turn 2. Quite long of a corner, quite high speed as well, you know, making sure you're carrying as much speed. Same with this corner. Doesn't use the full exit, but it does seem to be quite good. Will he improve in sector 1? No, he's 3/10 down, but there's obviously still time to find through the first chicane, and then obviously the Villeneuve chicane. Now, Ryan, do you think Andrew Bayer can actually improve him?
I mean, considering it's sector 1, I'd probably assume not. But you know, maybe we may see him pull out a miracle in the last few sectors.
Oh yeah, most definitely are. But as you said, most likely not. And I think you're right there, Ryan. As that sector 2's 5/10 slower than his personal best, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah, no, I think it won't be this lap. But, you know, maybe next or the next after that.
Yeah.
He's currently in 9th place. He's just going to hope to keep improving throughout everything that goes on.
Yeah, most definitely. As Ikamava is 1/4 of a tenth behind Mark Shaladi. I think I got that right. Maybe not. 3 minutes left on the timer, which means most drivers will get maybe 1 or 2 more laps in, as it's a 1 minute 25-ish lap for the front pole sitter. But it's really close quali. I mean, what, 5/10 separating the top 6? Looks like it's going to be a close race. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's going to be really close. The championship fight is also very close. So yeah, I think with all the drivers being quite equal, with the top two being separated by 0.025 seconds, I think it's going to be very close between the top two throughout the whole race.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Also, Ikamada here getting a purple sector 1. Will he and a purple sector 2? He's improving. This could be a pole lap. Will he get a good cornering? Yeah, he gets a really good corner, which means he will get a good exit. No cars in front of him. Actually, no, there is. Could he get a toe? Maybe a small little toe. I'll just come through the final corner here. Is it going to be a good exit? It looked like a quite good line for the final chicane. He's coming to the line now. Will it be pole? I think it will be. Yes, it is. It's pole. But he only gets half a tenth in front of Mark Shaladi. Still pole, though, so he's going provisionally P1 now. He teleports back to the pits as I think he was going to be able to get one more lap in. Now, Mark Shaladi setting up for his final lap. No, he may be able to get another lap after this if he doesn't mess up. Just got to make sure he gets a good run out the final corner, which he does as he crosses the line now to start his lap. Coming down into turn 1, he's going to have to get a nice line through to exit turn 1, and he beautifully does. Coming to turn 2, making sure to... He slightly misses the apex. Maybe that's the line. I would have maybe skimmed the curb, as he does here. Skimming the curb, getting a nice run out of the corner to able to set up in a nice entry for the next, as we come down onto this longish straight into the first chicane, which is arguably the hardest chicane of the whole track, as the curbs are slightly raised here. I've seen many cars flip there. As well, coming through the Villeneuve chicane, cutting it beautifully. I think you can, I think the track limits is where if you go over the sausage curbs, then you're going to get the cut warning. Mark Schlady, though, only almost half a tenth slower in Sector 1, but Sector 2, 6 tenths slower than his P2 lap. Okay, Chris Boxall now coming through the Villeneuve chicane. Could he be on an improvement lap? He's only 2 tenths off pole here. This will be his final lap, though, coming down into arguably the hardest corner of the whole track. The downhill, heavy braking corner, making sure to set up for a good exit. He's 2 tenths down. I don't think he's on an improvement lap here. You never know, though. Racing's one of those sports where anything can happen as he comes down into the final chicane, going really nicely over the curbs, getting a good exit to the line. Will he be able to improve here? As Victor Burnett sets P6 time. And yes, he goes to pole. And he goes pole by half a tenth over Ikamada. But will Ikamada be able to respond? As he's purple in 1 and 2. Will he be able to go purple in Sector 3 and retake that pole? As he comes to the line, will it be pole position? No! It's only P2. That Sector 3 wasn't good enough. What about Mark Shaladi? Will he be able to improve? I don't think he will. As he crosses the line now, is it going to be an improvement lap? No, it's not. What about Matthew Haven? Will he be able to improve here? Nope, he stays P4. So that is the grid. Oh, wait. Amelia. Oh, no, Amelia stopped on track. What about Giovanni? No, he's back into pit. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be your grid. Chris Boxall, Ikamada, Mark Shaladi, Matthew Haven, Juan Gramage, Victor Burnett, Bobby... Oh my god, that last name is going to be quite a mouthful for me. Vaquinoff. I think I got that right. Andrew Bayer, Amelia... I'm not going to try that either. And then Max Livingston. That's your top 10, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a really close quali. Only a tenth separating the top three. Ryan, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be extremely. It's obviously been extremely close, and I think it's only going to get closer throughout the race. I mean, it's going to just keep going and going and going. And the drivers, they're of such high quality. Um, I think it's just going to be non-stop racing, and these drivers at the front, they're just so unbelievably close together. It's going to be almost a repeat of what we saw in Over the Limit yesterday, where we saw the front three fighting for nearly the whole race. The front two of the GT4s. I think it's going to be really similar today in a completely different league, with the speeds and the racing, the clean driving, and how close it's going to be.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's a really close qualifying. I mean, top six, I think we're only separated by like half a tenth, and then, you know, the rest of the grid, I think top 10 was separated by only a second. And like you said, front three, like we saw in OTL, were fighting all race long. I think that's gonna be a repeat. And I think it's going to be a really fun sort of race to watch. And then obviously we got race 2, which is reverse top 10. And what do you think could be the outcome of the reverse top 10? Yeah, most definitely there. Um, and yeah, I agree there. Um, I think the slower drivers may give the faster drivers a bit of a run for their money. Obviously, starting near the front, you're not gonna have all that traffic to work through, so we could maybe see a unfamiliar face on that top step of the podium. Um, but only time will be able to.
I think
Only
that'd be
time will tell.
Yeah, I think that'll be really interesting to see with the reverse grid. I think it just promotes, different people getting to the top step of the podium because they've got no traffic and they've got no one to race, and the faster drivers are potentially being held up by the ones behind. And yeah, I think it'll be really interesting, and I really hope to see some, as you say, unfamiliar faces coming onto the grid.
Yeah. Now I think we are getting ready to go underway. Racing for obviously round 5 of season 5 of Lead Pool Racing. Now, like you said earlier, Zolder's a really good track for racing. Do you think we'll see any major incidents in the first lap?
Um, I don't think. I think we honestly will. That's not trying to insult any of the the drivers' abilities. I just think that it's a track where drivers that aren't the most experienced people, when they don't have incredible experience, there's the chicanes and the tight corners. They're all just almost magnets for crashes. To be honest, it happens a lot. It seems to be a trend in the chicanes, but as long as they don't go for silly moves, they should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, most definitely. As we are on the grid now, ready to go racing. Just got to wait for all the drivers to grid up. Um, Now, obviously, I think it's a standing start, which will mean there may be carnage going into turn 1. There may even be carnage from the get-go. Now, do you think we'll see someone go for a big old lunge into turn 1?
Oh, but who knows? I mean, it depends. I mean, um, will P2 get a bit hungry? Um, will P3 get a bit hungry? Will they try and just get straight into the lead? Will P3 go, just send it straight up the inside of P1 and 2 into the first corner? Who knows? And, I hope to see some moves like that, and I hope to see them done cleanly, because that's the best kind of racing when you can do big moves and do them cleanly. I think it's the best kind of racing.
Yeah, most definitely. As I think we got 1 more minute until we go lights out for round 5, race 1. And I think these drivers are ready to go racing, as I believe it's a 13, 14 car grid. No, it's even more. It's a 16 car grid. Which just, shows the amount of drivers ready to go racing. I just quickly need to fix that. But yeah, so 16 car grid. That just shows the, the amount of potential there could be of carnage, but shows the amount of potential of amazing, great, clean racing. As I know LPA as a nice, clean racing league with a lot of competition within any sort of part of the pack, the front pack, the mid pack, and obviously the rear of the pack. Now, Ryan, who do you think could have the biggest chance at winning here?
Well, as I said, there's no really telling with the 3 drivers at the front all being very close, and 2 of the drivers being in very close contention in the championship too. I think it's all going to be, it's all going to be quite unpredictable throughout the race. I think there's going to be crashes, there's going to be pit stops, different strategies, and everything like that. And it's all going to produce potentially carnage. Who knows? It's all going to produce good racing at least.
Yeah.
And you can never tell with this level of racing, with this this high stakes stuff. You can never really tell.
I think we are getting ready to go racing as I hear the cars revving. We've got the lights on. We have 5 red lights. And it's put to the floor as we go racing for round 5 of the LPR. It's a great run from Boxall going down into turn 1. He's going to be keeping the lead. Ikamava, though, round the outside. He's going to be looking up to get into that front position. He's got the inside line for turn 2. He'll be hoping to take the lead here, but Boxall's holding it around the outside. This is great racing from the front too, as Mark Shaladi and Matthew Haven are side by side as we come through turn 4. As Victor Burnham, I think he's gone up 1 position, but Ikamava now taking the lead. Chris Boxall, though, he's going to have the inside line for the first chicane, but he's going to back out of the move.
That was an incredible the round outside moves, got Malva around Boxall keeping behind, keeping the food. That was some really good racing, and especially through the chicanes and everything, they kept it with food. There was nothing that happened between the drivers. Great.
Yeah, I heavily agree as, oh, that's not good for Mark Shaladi as he's gone deep into the heavy downhill braking zone and gets overtaken by almost the front pack, as there was a bit of a squabble near the mid pack as Luka Jibok leads the way from P8 for the remaining drivers down to, I believe, down to P11 of Amelia and Giovanni. Back up at the front, Ikamava's reached a 1-second lead on the opening lap. That's going to be amazing for the Spaniard and the Plus Ultra team for the standings, as his teammate Juan Gramage is in P6. So this will be great points. Whereas the team Sidewinder Motorsport, the championship leaders, are down to P5 and P7. Chris Boxall in the Cyanide Academy racing car, hunting down Ikamava, but Ikamava's just on a whole different level as he's edged out about half a second in 2 sectors. Not even that. He's in the 2nd sector right now, and he's edged out about 3/10 now. I think, we saw in quali, Chris Boxall was quite strong in sector 2 here. Obviously down into heavy braking zone. We'll see a lot of lockups, as we saw Mark Shaladi, he locked up, and that's put him down to P7. Now, Ryan, what do you think of that opening lap?
Yeah, I think that was a very, very good lap. It was quite, it was clean, it was fierce, and the racing was just on point. It was really fast, flowing racing, and there was no contact whatsoever, really. And I think that's that's ideal racing. That's the type of motorsport we would like to see. It's close, it's fast. The leaders managed to build a gap, and now drivers behind have to catch up and put in the laps, put in the work to catch back up to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a really, really good opening lap.
Yeah, totally agree there. As obviously Matthew Haven in the V8 racing car, he's going to be behind. He's only half a second behind Chris Boxall, so those guys could maybe work together. Slipstream off each other, and maybe catch up to Ikamava. Now, Bobby Vakunov, he's also in the Sidewinder team. He's teamed up with Mark Schladdy. Now, these guys have lost 2 seconds to P4 of Victor Burnham. So that's not going to be great if they want to maybe catch up. Or no, to regain, or no, to maintain the championship lead here. As obviously, the Plus Ultra team are right now P1 and P6, which will guarantee them more points than P5 and P7. The gap is maintaining. It's not increasing. It's not decreasing between Ikamava and Chris Boxall. Now, looking near the back of the grid, Giovanni fighting alongside Anno as we come through the final chicane. These guys are having a nice old battle for, I think, the final points position, if I am correct. Obviously, Giovanni just edging in front of Anno. And yeah, I think, Ryan, we're going to have a great second race on our hands. Just looking from these opening laps. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, from the opening laps, I think it's gonna prove to be a very, very interesting second race, especially with the slower drivers. Oh, there's someone round.
Oh yeah, Anno's gone round.
Anno.
Was that contact with Giovanni going for a move, or was that just overcooking the corner? I think
turn 4 can be quite awkward sometimes.
Most
slower, medium speed cars.
Most definitely. But anyway, as we go back looking near the front, Chris Boxall has got a lead over Matthew Haven. So I think he's made a mistake somewhere, because Victor Burnant's in the is close enough to maybe go for a move into turn 1 if he gets a good run out of the final corner, which I think he does. As we come down to turn 1, the gap's only 2 tenths. Will he pull alongside? No, he won't. He's just going to sit in behind and maybe try not to fight Matthew to maybe catch up to Chris Boxall. Juan Gramage, he's staying P6. He's staying with Bobby, who's in P5. So it is a Sidewinder sandwich. And obviously these Sidewinder cars are going to really want to look up to get more into the points positions to just keep that lead. Let's ride on board with Victor Burnham as he's chasing down Matthew Haven for that P3 position, that final podium position. And yeah, so as we come down into the final chicane, will we see a move going into turn 1 from Victor Burnham, as he's not cut a lot of the second part of the chicane, so that's probably going to hinder his exit, as yes it is, as he's losing time to Matthew, as yeah, 4 tenths slower that lap, but it seems like they are catching up to Chris Boxall. So could that mean Chris Boxall's just struggling with the car? Maybe he just needs a few laps to get into his rhythm, as we are 8 minutes into this race now. As Mark Schladdy's caught up to Juan Gramage drastically. Only 2 tenths separate the 2 drivers, and could he maybe go for a move? 3 tenths between them. I think, yeah, they are close. They are within a second of each other. So, Bobby Juan and Mark are all within a second of each other, and this is for P5. And then obviously Luca, Andrew, and Giovanni aren't far behind them. So, you know, if there is a bit of a scruff between these drivers, Luca, Andrew, and Giovanni can maybe be in contention of a P5, potentially. Now, Ryan, do you think Mark Schlady could get back up to P5? As obviously he had that lockup, but he's got the pace, and yeah. So do you think he'll be able to regain the positions he lost?
Oh, I certainly think so. He was there at the start. He obviously has the pace to get up there, and he's already attacking the two drivers in front of him that he needs to get past to get into P5. As he says, it'll be inside of the first corner. Says
they
it'll
make
be
slight
inside
contact.
of Juan Gomage. There was a little bit of contact, but they're both on the road. They're both still clean, so it's all right. They're still fighting through the next couple of corners, and this is just brilliant side-by-side racing through turn 3 and coming into turn 4. This is going to slow him down, however, so it may compromise his run to getting to P5. However, he hasn't managed to do it. It was very close, but he has not managed to get past him, just maybe getting a hindered exit.
He goes
Before it
later on the
outbreaks Juan
brakes.
Gomage into the chicane. What a move.
Oh, he's
Just-
gone deep. He's hit
he
hit the elevated curb, which just made him go into the air, and obviously his wheels weren't on the ground, so he's gone understeering into the gravel, and that's lost him about a second and a half. That's not big. That's not going to be great for Mark Schlady, as he's obviously going to be looking to get back up to the positions, but that's going to be good for Juan Gramage, as he's going to be able to remain in P6.
Yeah, no, so that was some really good racing, and then, just a simple mistake. He was more confident. He outbroke his opponent, but it was just one little silly mistake by taking too much curb and then just being sent round.
I think every sim racer who's raced around Zolder has done that once in their life, as Andrew Bayer is hunting down Luka Zibok for P8. Now, I know Andrew, he's a quite fast driver, and I do think he will have the pace to overtake Luka Zibok for P8. But only time we'll be able to tell, as we have less than 10 minutes left of this race to go. And then obviously we got the second race. But that will mean Andrew Bayer, if he remains where he is, he'll be starting P2, just behind Giovanni for the race to start.
Yes, I mean, the racing's been great so far. There's more racing being produced by third and fourth place. They're chasing each other down, just trying to, get through to each other. But there's still this racing going on between Andrew Bayer and Luka Zibok through the first couple of corners. The battle for P8 is most certainly on. The lap times have been quite similar. However, Andrew Bayer has been a tad slower, I believe. He's been 2/10 slower on his last lap.
Deep. He's gone deep in the heavy braking zone, and that's cost him P8. So Andrew Bayer, he's up to P8 now, and he's going to say thank you very much. And let's see if he'll be able to just maintain this position for 8 minutes.
Yeah, he'll definitely be taking that with a nice, reward almost. He's going to be happy about that. It's almost a free position, a little mistake under pressure from Zibok, and he's just let his opponent through. But as I was saying, Andrew Bier's laps have been a lot faster than Luka Zibok's, I believe. I'm verifying now, but it is Andrew Bier's fastest lap so far has been apparently 1.3 seconds faster than Luka Zibok's so far. So there's definitely pace differences showing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, that was almost a free position. It was a silly mistake. I think Luka could have definitely defended a lot longer. But it's how it goes. And now he's just got to not give up and just keep working to get that position back.
Yeah, most definitely. As also, I would just like to mention the top 3 in the championship are only separated by 11 points. Now, Bobby, who's in P5, is leading. then it's Juan Gramage, then it's Mark Shaladi. So the Sidewinder team are 1-2 in the championship, and that means obviously they're ultimately leading the constructors. But this will mean Juan Gramage will be able to make some ground over Mark Schlady, and those guys are only separated by 5 points. So, you know, the positions they are right now are going to obviously be a lot more crucial in the long run, as you never know, as we get to the final round of the season, this position where they are right now could determine how they are in the final round.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. I mean, the top three in the championship are all currently running P5, P6, and P7. So you know, it's quite interesting to see that the front runners of the championship are not the front runners of this race. And you know, we'll see whether it's either a strategy decision or whether it's just sheer bad luck that they're not in the winning position so far.
Yeah.
You know, is it a strategy decision for you know, to start at the front, start close to the front next race? Like for Bobby right now, it's going to be he's if he stays in P5, he's going to start where he finished. Or is it just tough luck and they've not managed to gain the positions in qualifying or in the race to stay at the front and leading the race?
Yeah, Juan Gramage catching up to Bobby, actually. He's only 4 tenths behind, as he's, you know, he was faster that lap by 4 tenths, but Mark Schlady was fast by a whole second. So could Mark Schlady be able to catch up to these guys if he's a second faster a lap? That would mean he could potentially catch up within these next 5 minutes. Juan Gramage only 4 tenths behind the Hungarian of Bobby as we exit turn 4, coming down into the turn 5 chicane. And Juan Gramage obviously in the slipstream. He's going to be nice and closely, but Mark Schlady, exit of turn 4, he's found 3 tenths in the first sector. Now he's lost 2 tenths in the first chicane, so he's good in sector 1, but he's not good in the chicanes. From looking at where he's losing and gaining all that time, would you agree, Ryan?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you know, seeing the mistakes he made at the chicanes earlier in the race, I think it just shows that the chicanes are not his strongest point, and he needs to really work hard everywhere else to keep his pace up.
Yeah, most definitely. Also, up in front, Victor Burnham is 8 tenths behind Matthew Haven, who's 7 tenths behind Boxall. So this is going to be a nice fight for P2. As the Cyanide Academy driver is obviously leading the way. 3.5 seconds behind Ikamava, who's just absolutely dominated this race from the get-go. And will Boxall be able to hold off from the other 2 drivers and keep that P2 position?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris Boxall is definitely, you know, he's a very good driver, and you know, he seems to be quite good at defending. You know, I haven't been here long, but he's already made quite the impression on me. You know, he's been good in qualifying. He's been consistent. He hasn't made many mistakes. You know, he may not be the fastest on the grid, but he hasn't made many mistakes, and he's been able to defend his position the whole race. You know, apart from the first lap where he lost that position in the first few corners. You know, he hasn't lost the leader too much, and you know, he's still very much staying, you know, within on the podium, and it doesn't look like he's going to lose it any time soon. However, there is a very, very close fight for P5
Oh, yeah.
between the 3 championship leaders. The top 3 in the championship, all very, very close, bumper to bumper, trading paint almost every corner, it seems.
Juan
And they are just
Gramage going
going at
defensive
it
into
into
the
the
final
later stage of this
chicane.
race.
Mark Shaladi round the outside. He's going to have the inside line for the second of the chicane, which is going to compromise his exit. And Juan Gramage is going to stay ahead in P6, but that's cost him so much time. Was Bobby holding off to let Mark Shaladi catch up to Juan Gramage, or was there just a massive mistake made?
Yeah, who knows? But you know, in the dying stages of the race, they've really got to just throw everything they've got. You know, will Bobby slow down to compromise Gramage's race and you know allow his teammate to get through just for those extra points in the championship, or is he going to just try and run away with it and let the other 2 behind fight it out until the end?
Yeah, most definitely. Also, Matthew is staying with Boxall. They've lost Victor Burnham, but Matthew has been able to stay with Boxall. So Boxall's gonna maybe start feeling the pressure as we have about 2 laps left. If I'm right, if the leader crosses the line with at least 1:30 to go, there'll be 2 laps. But that does seem quite unlikely as Boxall seems to get quite of a poor turn 8 there, which is going to invite Matthew to maybe look for a move as we come tumbling down into the final chicane. But no, he's just going to stay behind as I think he's playing the strategic card of being behind for the final lap, as this is going to be the final lap. As Ikamada has just crossed the line. So this will be the final lap of racing. Ikamada will lead the way, followed by Boxall, then Matthew, then Victor Burnham, then Bobby, and Juan Gramage and Mark Shaladi are all within 1.4 seconds of each other. So those guys could be having a fight. So there's a fight for P5, there's a fight for P2. The only person that's not in a fight is Victor and Ikamada.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant racing. Honestly, there's action all over the board, and it doesn't cease to rest. And Victor Burnett goes for a purple sector 1. Is he going for a fastest lap attempt? Maybe, who knows? But we do have Victor Marva coming round to the final. Or Ika Marva even coming round through to the final sector to round out the 20 minutes of racing.
Yeah, really close between Matthew Haven and Chris Boxall. Coming down into turn 8. Will he look for a move? No, he won't. He's too far back to go for a lunge. But Chris Boxall's gone deep. He did what Mark Schlady did on lap 1, and that's going to cost him P2. Ikamada, though, is going to round out the race 1 here in Zolder. He's going to come to the line to win. And that's going to help him in the championship. He'll win. Then it's going to be Matthew Heaven in P2. Then Chris Boxall in P3. Then Victor Burnett in P4. But what about P5? Will Bobby be able to maintain to the line? Yes, he will. He's going to be P5, followed by Juan Gramage. Then Mark Shaladi. Now Andrew Bayer coming through.
Wow, that was
sensational.
That was simply incredible. You know, the final lap battling. And then, you know, the silly mistakes, the simple mistakes from the drivers. You know, Chris Boxall making a terrible mistake in the final few corners, having a big lock-up and just allowing Matthew Heaven to just slip past into the final sector. And, you know, Bobby, Juan, and Mark all having
there's a fight
tense
for P11
battle
between Anno and Replenaz, as I think Replenaz has had it. He's going to be P11. Anno's going to be P12. So Lucas Zibok is going to be on pole for race 2. Then it's going to be followed by Giovanni, then Andrew, then Mark Schlady, Juan Gramage, Bobby, Victor Burnett, Chris Boxall, Matthew Even, and Ikamada. So that's going to be the order for race 2. And like you said, sensational of a final lap there. Obviously, Chris Boxall may be feeling a bit of the pressure there as obviously going deep, locking up those tires. I did say at the start of the stream, it's so easy to lock up in these cars. It's probably one of the easiest cars to lock up. And I mean, sensational racing. Now, who would you say is your driver of the day for race 1?
Well, honestly, I was thinking Chris Boxall, but I think, you know, that little mistake towards the end, I think it just sort of ruined that idea for me. So, I'm not 100% sure, but I am going to probably say Bobby, vacuuming off. I apologize for the terrible name pronunciation, but I'm probably going to say Bobby. You know, he defended. He was, you know, third in the championship. Or no, he was second in the championship, or first, one of the two. He was in. He's one of the top 3 in the championship, and he defended from the other top 2 in the championship for almost the whole race. And I think that's, you know, that's something that only, you know, the best can do. And yeah, I think that's, yeah, Bobby's definitely got my driver of the day for this race.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think either Ikamada or Matthew there I mean, both having sensational races. I mean, I get why you say Bobby as well. He had a sensational race as well. But I think if I was to give a driver of today, I think I would give it to Ikamada. Just absolute domination there in race 1. Probably the most dominant I've ever seen to date. You know, getting the lead on lap 1, then just flying away. He didn't fly away and make like 10 seconds of a gap, but he made a great gap and he was just able to hold it. He made little to no mistakes, whereas Mark whereas Mark made that mistake on lap 1, and you know that costed him a chance at the win. He has the pace to win, but his mistake costed him the win. And then obviously we saw Chris do the exact same mistake on the final lap, which costed him the second step of the podium. So we'll probably see a lot more of that in the next race. But I'm very excited to see what will happen as the server shut down, as we are getting ready and we're getting prepared for race 2. So Ryan, from looking from race 1, there's a bit of a pace difference between the front and mid packs, but do you think someone from the mid pack could actually have a chance at winning?
Yeah, I think with the reverse grid, and it's all to play for with the slower drivers in the middle of the pack, just trying to do what they can to try and stay with the top runners, because it's all to play for, really. As I say, I mean they're probably not going to be used to the front with being the reverse drivers, and they're going to have a nice bonus to keep going through to try and win the race.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, obviously Ikamava now in P10. He's gonna obviously have the pressure of trying to get back up to the front, but he's also gonna have pressure from the drivers behind, as standing starts are so difficult. You got to make sure you're getting the right amount of throttle application down. You got to make sure you are shifting up at the right times, and all of this and that will all make for a great start. And obviously we saw Ikamava had an amazing launch over Boxall, but maybe he'll be able to do it again. Do you think he'll be able to do it again?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it all depends on whether he can get past that traffic easily. His traffic management will be a big part of it, and it'll all come down whether the other drivers get held up, whether he gets held up, and yeah, I think it'll be a interesting competition to see how it all pans out towards the end of this race and throughout it too.
Yeah, most definitely. I completely agree. Traffic management, biggest thing in this sort of racing when you're doing a reverse grid, or even in endurance racing as well, you know. But like I said, traffic management, I think if he can manage getting through, similar pace drivers, and obviously when these guys come up to the, like Luca or something like that, when they come up to that, making sure they overtake at the right time to not lose much time to the other top field drivers. Not saying like Luca Gibok or Andrew Bayer are top field drivers, but obviously they are slightly a bit off someone like Ikamad or Matthew Haven from race 1. Now, who do you think is anyone that you think we should look out for? Anyone that went under our radar in race 1?
Well, I think someone that went quite unnoticed was, I don't really know, to be honest. I think we got good action out of everyone, really, but I do think that Mark, I'm still unsure of how to pronounce that surname, or Anno. If Anno can make a big difference this race, it will be quite interesting to see. But I do think Mark, who did finish P7 last time, who was in the fight the whole time, he was just making a couple of little mistakes, and I think as long as he can just numb out those mistakes this race, as long as he doesn't just let them pass, I think it should prove to be a very good race.
Yeah. Mark Schlady, Yeah. I think, very fast driver there. I think you're right. No one really went under our radar. We got a lot of action from everyone. I think what we should do is maybe give a bit more of the drivers near the back of the pack a bit more screen time, because there was some fights that I think we missed. Like whatever happened between Anno and I believe it was Giovanni, when Anno, went off into the gravel. Obviously we missed that, but that probably is the reason why Anno is not near the front of the grid for race 2.
Yeah, I think having views on the the lower back, the drivers towards the back of the grid, I think it will be really, really interesting to see, because the drivers at the back get into as many fights as the fronts, honestly, and I think the fronts just get a lot more action because obviously they're fighting for the win and everything. But the drivers at the rear of the pack.
Now.
Oh, as we get lights on, and it is lights out, pedal to the metal, foot to the floor, as we all get underway for the second race of Leadport Season 5, Race 5 at Zolder. Into the first corner, they all barrel into turn one. We still have the leaders staying in. Luka Jabok staying in. Oh, there's someone on the grass. They get tapped round, and they're on the grass. They're still alive, but they have gone swerving off the track into the next few corners through the first sequence. It's a very flowing, it's a nice, kind of awkward, but flowing sequence. And as long as they can stay next to each other and, with no contact, it's all clean for now. Luka Jabok creating a little bit of a gap to the drivers behind. Many drivers haven't really made that much progress, to be honest. Ikamava up into P6, actually. I take that back. He's made some big progress. Ikamava already up into 6th place. The driver's riding the curb. Oh, there's someone round. Who is round?
That's Andrew Bayer.
That is.
He's round.
Andrew Bayer, he's round in the chicane. Big contact there. And they keep going through Sector 2. All flowing nice. This is brilliant racing. Riding the curves up, down, round and around. They're all sending it. Yeah, getting some airtime on those big sausage curves. Andrew Bayer's gotten back around now. But the racing still continues.
Yeah, really great start from Luka Jibok, holding on that lead. Mark Shaladi, there's a bit of a crash there. That's involving Chris Boxall and the American of Brundage. But that's not going to be...
That is huge.
Yeah, that's not going to be great for the Cyanide Academy drivers. But like I was saying, Mark Shaladi, he's up the grid now. He's up to P2. He's hunting down Luka Jibok for that top step. Giovanni and Ikamava fighting out. Ikamava's going to look for the move down the inside, down turn 2. And he's going to have it, I think. Will Giovanni be able to hold it around the outside? No, he's not. So that means Ikamava is going to go stay ahead, but Giovanni's gone for a second in turn 4. This is sensational racing. This is going to slow them down, but this is 5 cars fighting for 1 podium step. This is what racing is. There's carnage in the back. That's Anno off. That was Livingston off. That's not going to be great for them.
There's loads of contact this race, and I'm not actually sure who caused that crash between Chris Boxall and Jay Brundage. It seemed to be another driver tapping one of them round and them just collecting each other. But there's another driver round again. I think it's Jay Brundage one more time.
Yeah,
he's round again.
He's left.
He's retired.
As I don't think
yeah, he's gone. He's out of the session.
There's
another crash in the same corner again. Who's that? Is he Kamava?
Yeah, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, it is Ikamava because he was up near the front.
Yeah,
he was P3, I think, or he was fine there.
Yeah, I think he got a little spun around. I think he managed to recover it quite quickly, but I think there was a little spin in that corner again. There's contact all over the shop.
Luka Jibok is still leading the way. The man that was P10 in the first race is now leading the way and got Mark Shaladi behind him. Then obviously Giovanni, who's got Bobby, Ikamava, Juan Gramage. That must be quite intimidating. Having the three out of the top 4 drivers right behind you, sniffing down your exhaust pipe, as I think Ikamava and Bobby are going side by side through the first chicane. Bobby's going to be able to get a better run out, and Ikamava's just going to stay P5, but this just shows Ikamava's looking for that move. As I think Juan Gramage and Ikamava are going to try and avoid not fighting each other as they are teammates. And this is great, though, as Mark Shaladi's now leading the way. He's got 1.6 seconds over Lucas Zibok. So was there contact? Did Lucas Zibok make a mistake? I don't know. Giovanni, though, making a dummy move. He's going to have a good exit out of the final, out of turn 8. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get back up to, I mean, not to get back up, but to overtake for P2. But look at this. This is great racing, as we've got... Oh, there's someone around! Bobby's around!
Oh, once again!
The championship leaders are around!
Yeah, it's Bobby. He's round again. The championship leaders have all had a shocker, apart from Jean Gramage, who is currently running in 4th place, trailing Giovanni, Luca, and Mark, obviously in the lead now after overtaking Jibok. And he is using this, as I said, he's absolutely running away with it. He's gotten past him, and he is miles clear of everybody else now. He's already created a 2.5 second gap to the cars behind, and now he is just going to run away with it. But Chris Boxall is fighting in a battle with many other cars for P7, for P8 even, and they are all a big gaggle of cars just trying to get whatever scraps they can. And, you know, there's another pack in front, and then there's another 3 seconds to Mark in front. You know, there's the gaps are very much starting to form in the packs.
Yeah.
Definitely
Bobby's
beginning
making
to
moves
form.
now. As, yeah. Chris Boxall and Bobby, the 2 sidewind drivers. Not Chris, but Bobby is down to P9. Mark Shaladi, though, he's up to P1. So this isn't great points for Sidewinder, but it's great points for Shaladi in the grand scheme of the championship. But like you said, there are packs everywhere. We got the front pack of Mark Shaladi. He's got a 4-second lead. We're 6 minutes into the race, and he's already got 4 seconds over Lucas Jabok and Giovanni. And like you said, countless packs, as we've got about a 4-car pack, 5-car pack actually, 4-car pack for the final podium step. Then we've got a few outskirt drivers, and then we've got a few fights near the middle pack for, I think, the final points positions. So this race is producing so much more racing, or side-by-side racing, than we saw in race 1. We've seen countless collisions, and that's probably going to mean so many penalties are going to be awarded. As Victor Bernert is up on Matthew for P4, Giovanni staying in P3, and Lucas Gibox holding that time over.
Oh, Chris Boxall's run again.
Oh no,
he's round of the chicane once more.
That's not good for the Cyanide Academy driver, and that's not good for the championship for wherever he is. As there's a driver off track of Amelia. She's off. And she was having an amazing race fighting for a few points. But, you know, I think she's got the pace to maybe catch up. If these guys are fighting, if Replenners and Buyout keep fighting, she may be in the chance for a top 10. As Matthew and Victor are going at it. It's a 5-car battle.
Wow, there are 2 side-by-side cars just into the first corner. 4 cars all side by side. It's two abreast twice, with 1 car just trailing behind, hoping to maybe pounce on a mistake or a collision from the cars in front. They're still side by side, the 2 behind, as Matthew Heaven manages to just sneak in front. But Mark, in the lead, has created a 6.5 second gap already. You know, he is storming away from the rest of the field. But yeah. This pack of 5 leading up to 3rd place is so unbelievably close. At the moment at all, he's on the grass.
That's not good for Ikamava, but you know, a little bit of a mistake. That's not going to be great. You know, he was leading race 1, and now he's down to P7 in race 2. Juan Gramage up to P6. Then it's Victor Bernert P5, Giovanni P4. Matthew having a sensational race. He's up to P3 from, I believe, P9 or P8. And then Lucas Jabok staying P2, only losing 1 position this whole race. And Mark Shaladi, Whoa, what a race he's having. He's gapping these guys 9 minutes in, and he's got almost a 8-second lead. And oh my god, this race has been one of the most entertaining races I've been able to commentate to date. The countless racing, countless spins. Oh my lord. This is more entertaining
incredible.
than Formula 1.
Yeah, well, it's been really, really good so far. I mean, you know, we've got Mark Shiraji. Sorry, apologies again. He for the surnames. He's, you know, sending it up, you know, almost 8-9 seconds in front now. You know, we've done 10 minutes of the race, and you know, he's already almost guaranteed himself a win. And then we have the pack behind catching up to second place, who Mark Heaven is only 1/10 behind now.
I don't think Juan Gramage, though, is quite happy with Victor Burnham, as those guys had a small tap in the first chicane, and he was flashing his lights on the run down to the Villeneuve chicane. So I think Juan Gramage is going to try, maybe look for a move on Victor Burnham as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... Are they teammates? Gramage and Bernard?
No, it's a Ikimada and Juan Gramage who are teammates.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, no, he's going to definitely want to get past Victor soon, but Matthew Heather, very close. Luca, he's been on his tail for a good few laps now, and it seems he seems to be carrying on that form throughout the second race, and he's been all over the drivers in front of him in the first one.
They're side by side, 4P2. Matthew's going for a beautiful switchback. Will he have enough speed? He's forced onto the curb from Lucas Zibok. That's not going to be helpful. I wouldn't say that's Lucas Zibok's fault. I would say that's a racing incident. As Lucas Zibok, he wasn't fully alongside, but he's got a good run. Coming down into the first chicane of turn 5. They're side by side. It's going to break early. And oh my god, Lucas Zibok has cut the chicane. He's going to probably give back the time, and he's outbroke himself. Yeah, he's given back the time. He may even concede position. No, he won't, though, as we come into the Villeneuve chicane. As he's cut again. Oh my god!
He's gone round on the first. Oh,
wow. He's lost it.
Does he come over again?
Did he get tapped, or was that outbreaking himself? I don't know. He's going to rejoin side by side with Bobby. That's not going to be great for the race 1 winner. As Lucas Zibok's off as well. What is happening, Ryan? What is happening? We had a really
honestly,
clean
is this
race
a full
1.
moon or something?
We had such a clean race 1, and race 2, it's collision mania, as it's so close for P2 and P3. It's so close throughout the whole grid.
Yeah, well, I can't say this isn't interesting to commentate, but you know, the first race was so clean. It was, you know, it was immaculate driving, and this is absolute chaos. You know, as much as I can't say it isn't a joy to commentate because this is exciting, but it's been chaos, and the drivers just it's almost a full moon. After the first race, they do it cleanly once, they just can't do it again. And you know, you never know why. Maybe, you know, it's losing focus, or it's the fact that they're tired or they've done too much already. Nobody will ever know, but this is such interesting racing, and you know, we're going to see what it proves to be later on.
Yeah, totally agree, as Juan Gramage almost close enough to make a move, as I don't think it's quite smart to go for a move in the first chicane, as we've seen many incidents happen in that very corner from a driver spinning off, or you know, like Lucas Zibok just full sending it and not braking for the corner. But you know, Victor Burnham up to P3, 4/10 behind Matthew Heaven. So will Heaven be able to just edge ahead and stay ahead of Victor Burnham, who's only 4/10 behind? Juan Gramage really close, could be in the chance to go for a move for P4. As
Anno is disconnected.
I think was that a disconnect? Yeah, it was a disconnect. So. But Juan Gramage go for a move. Lucas Zibok goes defensive into turn 1. Juan Gramage will have the outside line and the more favourable line. Will he go for the switchback? Yes, he is. He's going to have the speed, and what a move that was. Juan Gramage, we will bow down to you. What a move into turn 1. What a move.
I think that's overtaken the evening, to be honest. That was a spectacular move around the outside.
Absolutely agreed. I don't think we'll see it any better. Victor Burnett, though, really close. Only 2 tenths behind Heaven here. He's not going to go for a move. They're going to slightly make a little bit of contact, but not much to unsettle the car. As, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most entertaining races to date. Oh my.
Yeah, this is incredible. Juan Gramage again with an incredible move. Dummying outside, getting an incredible switch back to get the move done.
Giovanni, there's more contact.
It's 2 cars round. That was very close. Ikamava again at the same place again. He is having a horrible day with that chicane.
Oh my God, he's just had PTSD. He's almost done it. The graphic. Oh my God, Ikamava must be fuming behind the wheel. I think that was Giovanni that went around. That's not going to be good for the Race League Rising Star driver. Juan Gramage stay ahead. Lucas Gibok, I think he's quite struggling for pace here. And Victor Burnett staying with Heaven, but oh my God. How many times are we going to see a driver go around in the Villeneuve chicane? As, I think, Boxall here, he's going to be trying to, hunt down Andrew Bayer for that P10 position. Really, the closest fight is Boxall and Andrew Bayer, as Boxall's going round the outside of Andrew Bayer for P10, and he gets the move done, and it's super clean of a move. Andrew Bayer, I think, may try hunt down that move for P10. Ikamava going in front of Giovanni as we go into the first chicane. Victor Burnett, though, staying behind Matthew. Could this be the strategy? Stay behind Matthew until the final lap. We saw it happen in race 1. Which gave Matthew P2 in race 1. But will it happen to himself? Will he outbreak himself as Victor Burnett just staying behind? He's not looking for a move. He's looking to try and force Heaven into a mistake. Andrew Bayer 4 attempts behind Boxall. Do you think we'll see a repeat of what happened in race 1, Ryan?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, there's no telling. I mean, the drivers are just so unpredictable, especially the difference in how clean they've been over the races. It was impeccable in race 1, and now it's absolute carnage. And, I mean, I don't want to predict anything. I think we might see a similar turnout. However, I think that's only really going to be in the domination of the leader, being quite a few seconds ahead with no real threat of losing their win. And I think that's probably going to be the main similarity between the 2 races, because everything else has been entirely different.
Yeah, totally agree. As Victor Burnett, he's sniffing the rear end of Matthew. These guys are having a really nice clean racing. He's not going for the move, so I do think my theory is right of he's going to stay behind until the final lap. And I think you're right as well. We're going to have a repeat of the leader's going to dominate the race. And, it's been proven right now as Mark Schladdy is absolutely flying away. 8 seconds ahead of Matthew, and that is partly down to his pace and also partly down to the amount of carnage we have had in race 2. I've got a massive grin on my face, not from the carnage, but from the amazing racing we're having. And now Victor Burnett's going to opt for the outside line. And will he go for the move? No, he's backing out of the move. And let's go for the switcheroo, which he's doing. He's going to have the outside line for turn 2. He's going to have the more favourable line, in my opinion. He's going to get the better run out. And he's going to get ahead, I think, of Matthew. Yes, he is. Matthew and Victor going side by side through turn 4. I think Victor's going to go for another switchback. Yes, he is. He's gone for another switchback. This is beautiful racing. Leaving just enough as we come in to the turn 5 chicane. Juan Gramage in the background there. They're sensible. He backs out. He's going to have more speed as we come down into the Villeneuve chicane. Please don't make contact. I think he's going to stay behind. No, he's going for the send. He's going down the inside as they make slight contact. They're so close between the 2 drivers. This is sensational racing as well. I think he was slightly slowed down as he was forced slightly over the curb.
This is some incredible racing, really. This is, you know, in the dying moments of this race, 1 minute 20 seconds left. This is really spectacular.
Chris
Oh,
Boxall's had
Chris
another
has run again.
shambles. This is not great for him. He had an amazing race 1, and his race 2 has gone and just been shattered into a million pieces, though. Back on to the fight for P2. Could all this squabbling invite Juan Gramage, who's had quite of an amazing race himself? Can't say the same for his teammate, though, Ikamava. But Juan Gramage would be, I think he would be quite pleased with his result here today.
Yeah, this will probably be the final lap, by the way, as Mark Shigalat, I'm going to call you Mark. Mark enters Sector 2, and he's not, I assume, not going to reach the finish line before the 30 seconds is up.
Yeah.
He's coming into the final sort of section of the track now, through
the Villeneuve chicane. Coming through turn 7 now. No, this is turn 7, and yeah, like you said, you know, a sensational run. We still got the fight for P2, but Ryan, if you want to take over.
Yeah, it's been a sensational drive for him. You know, he got the lead in the early stages of the race, and he's kept it going. You know, he hasn't made mistakes, and it's absolute domination. He's got a 12-second gap to the cars behind him as he rounds the final chicane, exiting the corner onto the pit straight. He darts down the straight, celebrating behind the wheel. It is Mark that comes across the line to win LPR Season 5, Round 5 at Zolder. And there's more contact as the two drivers fight through the final chicane. They're going to send it down to the finish line with a drag race to the finish line, 20 minutes, and it ends all in a drag race. So Juan Gramage coming in behind, and there's contact, there's people off in the final chicane once again. Jibok, and there's contact, and it's going to end in another drag race. And oh, that is so unbelievably close. Ikamava managing to get past him as... Sorry, no, it's not. Luca managing to stay ahead. That was an incredible race. I mean, you know, these two races have been really, really good, really interesting. The first race was immaculate, clean, and, you know, there was barely any contact. The second race was absolute carnage. It was a demolition derby, the whole race. And both races ended very differently. And, you know, it's extremely good racing, extremely entertaining, really fun to commentate.
Yeah.
You know, our broadcaster's been Logan Edward. I've been Ryan Armstrong.